Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Nikki Limitless here, and I got another video for you. We're going to talk about goals and targets today and the importance of having them. All right, y'all. Before I get into the video, though, I wanted to show y'all my morning coffee right here. This right here will get me energized the whole day and only 0.17 fluid ounces. So that's amazing. And you just take it right to the dome like this. Woo! It hits hard. Very good. Yeah. Now, watch. You're going to see my energy increase as we go on. So, today we're talking about goals and targets. Now, why is it important to have these goals and targets? Now, goals are more of a longer term, right? So, it could be a month, 6 months, a year. I'm starting to think having goals for 5 years out is not as important because even Elon Musk had said the time that you give yourself to do the goal. So if you give yourself 5 years, it'll take you 5 years. If you give yourself 3 days, it'll take you 3 days. Obviously, there's a realistic, and then there's like, you want, but realistic goals, and I'll get into it, but realistic goals is not something you want. And I'll explain why. Right? And targets are short term. Targets are today. Right? Targets are today. Hold on, this thing is sitting right there. Targets are today, and that helps you push and think of it. Those targets are like the ladder rungs to get you to them goals, right? So if you know what you want, then you can build your target, if that makes sense, right? So how do you get your goals, right? So the way I believe in putting your goals is you want to make them so out of reach, unrealistic, right? Because I'm in the 10x nation, right? And 10x is 10x everything. So if it's for trading, you say, hey, I want to make $100,000. Okay, you need to 10x that, right? So you're gonna write 100,000, but then you're gonna add another zero, right? And now you're making a million, right? So just like that. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. That's when you know it's a good goal. If your goal is not making you uncomfortable, it's not a goal, right? Because there's no growth in it, right? Because 100,000 may not be enough. If you said $1,000,000 and you still felt like it wasn't enough, 10x it, add another zero, right? You want to make your goals out like unrealistic. You want them unrealistic, right? Because the real, if you made it 100 grand and you hit 100 grand, congratulations, you hit a grand, 100 grand. But most of the times people make their goals realistic, they don't even go after them, right? Because it's like whatever. There's no excitement. But if you said instead of 100 million, you go $1 billion is my goal. Do you feel like you want to move a little more? You're like, oh, $1 billion. Oh, like that got you excited, right? That's the thing. It should make you excited. It should make you nervous, right? And it starts cultivating something for you. So goals are super important. It's right there. It's so good though. Um, Goals are super important, and everyone has their different beliefs on the goals. My belief is if I make it so like unreachable, and let's say it was $1 billion and I got 600 or 700 million. Oh man, I missed my goal. Like, so the f what, right? Like, that's excellent because I missed my goal, but look how much closer I am. But if I say, oh, my goal is just 1 million, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather miss 1 billion than miss 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Um, but so when you write your goals, write them first, write all your goals first, then go back, rewrite them by making it bigger, expand it, right? So if it's a number amount, add another zero. If it's like, hey, I want a Ferrari, right? Expand that. right? Maybe I want a Ferrari fully loaded, right? Fully loaded with all the bells and whistles, with custom this, custom that. Or I want 10 Ferraris, right? Wow, that just got more exciting, right? Because we're used to one car, right? What about 10 cars? How about I want to get a brand new pair of sneakers? How about I want to buy this sneaker company? Dang! Like, but that's it, right? You want to expand it. And it may be unrealistic. And you want to know something? I have a whole book here, right? I write my goals in. And the first, like, I would write so much stuff, and like it material things too, like whatever. And I realized, I'm like, wow, I don't really want this, right? So I challenge you to write your goals every day, right? I write my goals in the morning and night. Every day, every day. Grant Cardone does that. I got it from him. He writes his goals in the morning, he writes them at night, and there's a third time. The third time is when he gets aggravated or upset, or like, something where he's pissed off, right? Because he reminds himself why he's doing it, right? He might have had a bad deal. He might have, if he was trading, he lost the trade, and you're feeling like emotional about it, write your goals again, right? So there's 3 times you should write your goals. Obviously, you could always do more. But the foundation is morning and night, because you wake up with the goals in your head and write them down, and now they're fresh in your thoughts. And then just before you go to sleep, because then when you're sleeping, it's running through your head, right? So that's why it's important to have goals, and it keeps you pulling. It pulls you forward. It pulls you forward towards something, and the universe will work, because we have, I don't know, this like over 60 million or billion thoughts in our head, right? And if we write our goals in the morning, when we write our goals in the morning and when we write them at night, we gain control in our thought pattern, right? Because now I already looked at these goals that I'm writing, and now I'm gauging my thought pattern to be in that mode, right? So that's the importance of the goals. Now the targets, right? And one more thing on the goals, right? So unrealistic, you want to make them unrealistic, right? You want to write them morning and night, and if you ever feel upset, angry, aggravated, like, or nothing's possible, write it again, right? And also get a composition notebook to write them down, or just like one of those pads. Go to the dollar store with pads, blue pen. I'm telling you, blue pen helps you remember. And also, do it. Oh, I wanted to challenge you for 30 days to do this. Do it for 30 days, morning and night, morning and night, minimum, morning and night. Do it for 30 days. Watch how your goals change, right? Because you could write them, and you're going to be like, oh, if you start feeling like, this isn't really what I want, excellent. Now start writing what you want. But you're getting in that practice of writing what you want. And eventually your goal list is going to be like the whole page, and then eventually you'll shrink, and then you'll get into like what it is you really want, and then you'll really make moves for it, and you'll start seeing. And when you write these goals, the importance of writing your goals, it helps you see what's important to keep around you. For instance, right? And I'll give you an example of me. I was writing my goals, and I realized, I'm like, wow, I'm doing a lot of pointless stuff. Like, I was playing a sport called pickleball. I had nothing in my goals about pickleball. I'm like, what am I doing? Right? Um, I had nothing in my goals about like going. It was it was pickleball and something else, and it just escaped my mind. But basically, if it's not in tune with my goals, then why would I do it, right? So my goals are simply about trading, right? So I was like, you know what? I need to focus here and build community here and do things in this arena, right? Because that's really what I want. That's what I'm like, my burning desire is at, right? So yeah, 30 days, unrealistic goals, find out what you really want, and then once you get to where you wrote for 30 days and you start tuning into what you really want, I want you to expand on those ideas. Expand on them. So if you say, I want a mega mansion, okay, cool, and that's what you really want, Awesome. Now I want you to go and expand on it. I want a mega mansion with this amount of acres and grass here and the pool in the shape of this, and like you want to get into the details and tie yourself emotionally to them, right? The details is what matter, the little things, right? This is what I was talking about in gratitude, right? Those little things. And those little things in your goals will matter. You want to dig deeper in them goals and really get into the fine details of it, because if you can visualize that, game over. You already have it. You already have it. You already have it. Because it all starts here. It's a thought, right? This phone was a thought, right? And then it became reality, right? Because of a thought. And then they got into the fine details inside of it. So pretend this is the Mega Mansion. Mega Mansion. Now, what is inside of it? We don't know. You got to tell us, right? Like tell yourself what's inside of it. And then it becomes more of this vision for you, and you could build on it. You can actually see it, because anyone would be like, oh, mansion, a car, right? But what's the detail? So 30 days, morning and night, unrealistic goals, and then after 30 days, start detailing your goals. Okay, now let's talk about targets. Now, when you have your goals, and you could detail your goals even in the 30 days, it's fine, but I'm just saying, like, when you get it more condensed of what you really want, you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll feel like you're writing it, you're gonna be like but now targets, with your targets, okay, it's basically reverse engineering your goals. So when you have the goals that you really want, you take those goals, right, and you're like, all right, what is it going to take for me to get here? And then reverse engineer it. So if it's $1 million and we're trading, right, and your account is 10K, right, you have a 10K account, and you risk, I don't know how much you risk, but let's just say you risk, let's do 100K. 100K times, okay, so it's 1,000. You're risking 1,000 a day, right? And let's say you do a 1 to 4. And I'm just gonna make up a number here, but let's just say 50 pips a day. All right, so you make that. Okay, so let's just say 50 pips a day, and you risk 1,000 pips, right? And your lot size is the same one. All right, so we got 399, so that times, so it's gonna take 5 years. No, all right, this is a bad example. I wasn't ready for this. Anyway, look, the point is $1 million, and you reverse engineer what it's going to take to trade to get $1 million. Or if you're doing business, how many customers or clients is it going to take, and what package, and you can break it down and figure out what it's going to take. And then every day you're going to go after that target. That's a target. Your targets are, they're not like goals. Your goals are unrealistic. Your targets are going to be tangible for the day, right? Now, you want them to stretch you, right? You want your targets to stretch you, and you want to have them, pull you forward as well. So every day I write my targets. Now, I write them at night, just before, like after I write my goals, or just before I write my goals, I write my targets for the next day, right? It's good to know, because then you go to sleep knowing you have things to do and you get up, right? So, and eventually, like, you're like, all right, I know what needs to be done. And you're constantly wanting to stretch those targets and add different things to add momentum. And then when you have these targets, your focus all day is finishing those targets. And when you're done with them, your day is complete. So if it's like, all right, I have to make 3 calls today and I have to close 1 deal, right? In order to hit my goal, I got to read this amount. I got to do, like, you know what I'm saying? Hit the target, and then you're done for the day, right? Like, here's a good concept of it. If you ever, Andy Frisella, he calls it the power list, right? And he has 5, and he puts 5 things in his power list that he's supposed to do, right? It could be like make 3 phone calls, work out, read a book, um, uh, 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 do personal development like learn about your skill, right? And then you know, eat healthy, right? Something like that, right? These are 5 things that you wouldn't normally do or in the habit of. And then you write them. And if you did it, you write W. You won. Did it, won, right? If you won. And if you didn't do it, then you put an L. And then you calculate it for the whole month. How many wins, how many losses. And it gives you a momentum, right? And you want to put things in that list that are not in the habit, not in your habit, right? So when you're developing habits, that's a good way to do it. Now, the targets are essentially what your habits are going to be. So when you write your targets, you know, you want to, it helps you build momentum, right? And momentum I'm going to talk about in another video, but these targets will pull you forward. And when you're writing your targets, I want you to think of this, right? You want to think of, you know, one, like something about work, like health and fitness. So it could be eating and working out, right? Another target is your personal development, your brain, right? You want to work your brain out. So reading a book, listening to a book, right? You want to develop your skill set. So if you're a trader, you want to at least put an hour minimum into studying your craft and learning something new. Not the same thing, something new, right? Stretch yourself. All right. Also, your goal, right? What's your goals? And then are these targets gonna help you hit them, right? And also, if you're a spiritual person, add something for the spiritual, like read the Bible or read whatever, right? Something spiritual, maybe meditate, right? Um, and these are suggestions I'm giving because these are things that I do, right? And also, you know, write something that's really gonna, like, I'm always looking for another way to like expand myself. So for instance, I haven't really liked to read books, but now I'm like, all right, I'm reading this book. Read 1 chapter, right? And I listen to Audible, right? But reading and listening, I've been finding out are 2 different things. Like granted, you're still gaining knowledge, but like reading helps you in a different way in your brain. So, and then a billionaire said, if you don't like to read, how are you going to read the contracts that you're going to sign, right? And it's like facts. So, yeah. So targets are super important. They help you build momentum. Goals are super important because they help you build your vision, right? So vision, momentum. And then all that's left is taking massive action on it, right? Now, that's another video too. That's a whole other topic, massive action. And we will save it. So we will save that for another video. Massive action and momentum, right? Momentum, you want the big mo, right? So targets, you know what to do. Write your targets. But first, figure out your goals, and you will figure out your targets, and then you will know how to attack the game. All right, y'all. You know what to do. I'm super excited for y'all. All right. Like, subscribe to this page. Hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. And yes, you guys can do this. And these everything I talk about are ways to quantum leap whatever you're doing, your business, yourself, whatever. Right? So comment, please tell me what your goals are, or give me one goal in the comment section. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please hit me up on any social media platform. It's all in the bio. And that's it. My name's Nikki Limitless. I am a day trader and I am a man. What more you need to know?